Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome everyone to Hardcore FM Part 3. Obviously, I hadn't got enough memory, but anyway, as I was saying in my last two videos, I'll try my best to obviously make it short and sweet. But obviously, Mr. De Silva obviously has gotten his wires crossed, and I will admit that once again, I'm gonna repeat myself again. Once again, obviously, I'll admit that I rang yesterday as a concerned friend, um, and I rang the I can't remember what police department I rang, and I forward on his number as a welfare check as a friend because he wasn't obviously picking up, and that's true. I texted him. I said, "Can you ring me?" Because obviously this Alex kid, um, obviously he's been text messaging me for the last like 3 days or some shit. Well, Friday was one of the days. Yesterday was another day, or was it Monday or something? I think I got in contact with Mr. De Silva, and I told him, I said, "Bro," or was it I can't remember what day, but I know it's in my video I made last night. It was one of the days, and I got straight on to Mr. De Silva and told him what was going on. So that video, obviously, I'll try and see if I can get it. I might maybe play the video maybe tomorrow if I can. It's very late over here now as it is. Um, but that video was like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, when me and Mr. De Silva were having an argument, and we obviously sorted out our differences, and so I don't know what's wrong with Mr. De Silva. But like, 1 minute he's talking to me, next minute he's not talking to me. So I obviously can't control Mr. De Silva's thoughts. If he wants to side with this Alex guy, and don't worry, we're going to find out who this real person is, because this person was in the hospital not too long ago. So we're going to find out who this person is, because I'm really getting like pissed off. He's texting me and shit like that, and then involving other people like Mr. De Silva. I consider a good friend of mine. I haven't got one bad word to say about Mr. De Silva, but he's just, at the moment, he's just getting his wires crossed. And I actually seen the message saying, "Oh, if it's true, it's true. You can all go and fuck yourself." Now, I'm not the cause of this argument between me and Mr. Silva. There's a third person in this by the name of Alex, and he caused all this shit. Now, I don't really care about Alex. I, you know, I care about Mr. De Silva because he's a good friend of mine. I don't really know this Alex guy, but he's, you know, look, I don't look. I'm not even going to get into this really, because just in case Mr. De Silva takes this up the wrong way. Like, I know Mr. De Silva like 10 years. I know Mr. De Silva, and I haven't got one bad word to say. Maybe in the past, we were, when we were fighting and stuff, and bringing my wife into it, bringing other people into it. Obviously, I had shit to say about Mr. De Silva, but it's just getting old now that I couldn't really care less But I'll see if I can rule out that video, because that was the time we were fighting when I was saying, oh, it's like water off a duck's back. So this Alex obviously took a recording of part of my show. I don't know why this Alex kid is listening to my show. Most of my shows are based on wrestling, and that's it. But if something comes up and something is in my way, I'm gonna talk about it, and I don't care who I'm hurting or who I'm not. I'm just gonna come out and be honest. Most of the shows I do is wrestling, but unfortunately, these past 4 days, give or take 4 or 5 days, has been a fucking nightmare, because you have this Alex kid trying to ask me to bring a friend down. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit and try and get Mr. Da Silva in me good books. I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not going to sit here and let you talk to a good friend of mine in Mr. Da Silva and sit there and send me messages, and then taking a clip that I was talking shit about Mr. Da Silva. That was months ago, man. And this is the problem as well. This is the problem about Mr. Da Silva. Every time we have an argument or he always brings up the past, or he always plays old videos of my podcast or his podcast of him talking shit about me. I don't care. It's getting old now at this stage of my life. You can have him, Alex. I don't care, because Mr. Da Silva is an adult. He can make his own decisions instead of, this is like I said it in my part. It was a part 2, and I said it last night. This is just a roller coaster ride, just going to go wrong, because 1 minute Alex is on my bandwagon. Oh, I'm your fan. I'm this and that. I don't care, okay? I said what I said last week about Alex, and I was gonna do a video anyway on Monday. But I said what I said a couple of weeks ago about Alex. He said, "Oh, talk about him." Why should I talk about you? I spoke the truth of what I said, and of course, Alex himself obviously didn't like it, and I'm sorry if you don't like it, bro. If you don't like it, you know where to go. Change the channel. Change the YouTube channel. Don't come on to my channel. Listen to what I have to say, and it's going to hurt your feelings, bro. Don't. Just don't. I told you this. And then taking clips that happened like 3 months ago. 3 months ago, and then getting Mr. Da Silva's wires crossed. 1 minute, I'm getting all over. I'm all over the kid myself at the moment. 1 minute, this Alex kid is turning into Shinari, man. I read all the messages that he sent Mr. Da Silva, or sorry, not Mr. Da Silva. He texted me, and he also texted, apparently, Mr. Da Silva, but he texted me, and the stuff he was coming out with, saying, oh, this N guy, he was using the N word. Oh, N word, we're going to take this guy down, and I'm going to help him. I'm not going to help anybody. I'm not going to help anybody. I've no issue with Mr. Da Silva. I don't know why he decided to unfriend me, instead of coming to me and say, oh, well, I have a problem with you. You're talking shit about me. And talking like an adult. But of course, Shinari doesn't do that. He doesn't talk like an adult. He goes behind my back, believes what this other person has said, and apparently, and I never, by the way, I never called this Alex kid an EDP, by the way. Mr. De Silva told me that he was in the hospital and that he's like one of them, he's a psycho guy. He's nuts. Mr. De Silva said that. And I can verify that as well. So, so I'm not the only one here that's talking shit about people. I understand. I can admit I was talking shit about Shinari 3 months ago. I wasn't talking shit about him yesterday or the day before or the day before that. I rang Mount Vernon. I think it was Mount Vernon Police, because apparently that's where Mr. De Silva lives, in Mount Vernon. And as a concerned friend, and I said, I'm looking for Mr. Silva. I want a welfare check. So the officer says, look, okay, have you got a phone number for him? I said, yes. So I gave the phone number to the lady. Very, very helpful, actually, that lady. Can't remember her name. I'd actually give her a shout out, but I can't remember her name. And she said, hold on. So she put me on hold, went and rang Mr. De Silva to see if he was okay. The woman came back and said he's fine. He's at home. He's safe and sound. I said, thank God. I said, thanks very much. And that was the end of the conversation between me and the Mount Vernon police. So, at the end of the day, I have I'm 100% no issue with Mr. De Silva. I don't know this Alex kid, so I don't know why he's bringing me into it, saying, "Oh, Alex doesn't like me." When Alex was ripping into Shinari like last week, and Shinari was doing the same. So, like he was calling him, oh, look at, Mr. Shinari was like, oh, I said, look at Anthony or Lawrence or whatever your name is, because you seem to have loads of fucking names, bro. I'm just going to call him Lawrence because I think that's his name. Lawrence. Lawrence of Arabia, of course, but Lawrence. So I'm just going to call him Lawrence. But, see, this guy, he's friends with me for 10 years, and he hasn't told me once his real name. I've been honest with Mr. De Silva from day one. From day one, my name is Mr. Declan Kavanagh. That's who I am. I'm not like a Lawrence Declan Kavanagh or I don't make up cock and bull stories. I don't go around calling myself Anthony Hunt or Jason Hunt. I don't go around fucking with fake fucking names or Alan Kavanagh or Alan Hunt. I don't go around like that, bro. My name is my name, and I was born Declan Kavanagh. So, that's who I am. I don't pretend to people, oh, my name is Anthony De Silva, and everybody. It's weird because who the fuck calls himself Anthony De Silva, and then everybody, which I've heard, by the way, on my own 2 ears, when he be on the phone to like Bronxville and shit, he claims that's his second name, which I don't believe for 1 second. But I don't look at who's to believe. I don't care. Doesn't bother me if his name is fucking Tom Hark. Doesn't bother me. But I've no issue towards Mr. De Silva. Mr. De Silva obviously has an issue with me because all of a sudden he blocks me for no apparent reason without saying, oh, you were talking shit about me, and maybe we could sit down like 2 adults would do and say, well, look at this is a recording, which was like 3 months ago. 3 fucking months ago that we were like, when we were fighting. I've no need to talk shit about Mr. De Silva. But, he's obviously his wires crossed, unfortunately. is siding with this other guy. I don't care who he sides with or who he doesn't side with. But when my name is mentioned by this Alex kid saying, "Oh, are you going to help me?" I'm not going to help anybody. I'm not going to help anybody unless he's a family member. I'm going to help. I'm going to obviously, watch his corner. Of course, I'm going to watch his corner. He's family, for God's sake. But Anthony and this Alex guy, they claim to apparently know each other or something shit like that. I don't know what's going on. They claim to know each other. And then he's saying he doesn't know each other, or he does, he kind of does, and he kind of doesn't. So, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just putting it out there that I don't have an issue with Mr. Da Silva. He has an issue with me, and until he wakes up and smells the coffee, then there's nothing else to talk about, because I'm done talking about Mr. Da Silva and Alex the Kid or whoever the hell. But don't worry, we'll get this real person's name. Don't worry. Well, don't worry, because trust me, I know what hospital this Alex kid was in. And with the right information and the right way to go about it, they will be obliged to give me that person's name. And then we will take it further. But and then he's saying, like, look, I've no problem of Mr. Da Silva putting my channel in the description. I appreciate it, by the way. But I don't mind him doing that. But then when he does it and then says that I'm a watered down, I'm a 2.0 or whatever of Shanari Man, or I'm a 2.0 Mr. Da Silva. I am nothing. I don't talk shit on my show. If I have as I said in my one of my other videos, in the other part of my videos, if I have an issue, I talk about it. If there's a wrestling event on, I talk about it. If anything else is happening in the world sport-wise, I might talk about it. It all depends what type of sport it is, especially, obviously, soccer or football. But anyway, we're going way off topic. Okay, like he's saying that I'm copying off him. Okay, now you know the funny thing about it, and I know people can do what they want on their show, but when it comes to giving shout outs, okay, it's amazing, because ever since I started giving out shout outs on my channel, Mr. Da Silva has to follow in suit. So, look, I don't care if it's a free country, but when you try to be a hardcore Declan 2.0, then that's a different game, because as you know, many times I've given shout outs on my show, on my podcasts,